Yeah. Are we ready to go live over here at the Solomon Project? Where it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep that counts. I'm your host, Richard Burns. I want to draw your attention to the description below, where you will find some exceptional content creators, as well as, I believe it's four, maybe five links to some type of brokerage for you to invest. And this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. While I'm at it, I'm going to do a microphone checker when I record 1, 2. Let's see. Let me take this off so I can listen in with the microphone checker when I record. While I'm at it, I'm going to do a microphone checker when I record. There it is. I'm in there like swimwear. Easter weekend. Okay, gotcha. Let me go back. Check it when I record 1, 2. Sound like an official rapper. Check it when I record. Okay. Let's see what we got going on here. It's wild to me. Hey, Yolanda. Oh, you can't stay? That's heartbreaking. But okay, I could work with that. While you're here for a second, I went to try to get something for bruh man, and for some reason it wouldn't allow me to deliver to whatever address you got on there. I don't know what the address is, but whatever it is, it didn't let me deliver to your. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good. A little sad that you can't stay, but I got. Hey, Lisa J. Lisa J. Lisa J. You know, I praise. I praise the way you do content. It's amazing. It really is. And I saw an old video of yours. The change is dramatic. The change is dramatic from then until now. You really stepped up your game. You did. You stepped it up. Very impressive. I'm impressed. Yeah, check that out, Yolanda. Check that out. Yeah, Lisa, I've been checking out these private equity firms and the situations that they find themselves in. It's an undercurrent that's kind of shaking up the market a little bit. There isn't a whole lot of reporting about it, but it's happening. Who that is? Hey, Sunflower. Yeah, yeah, I can I can tell that you didn't buy your mic at Five Below. For sure. For sure, for sure. Five Below, huh? Yeah, it would look more like a plastic spoon than anything else. Oh, yeah, fix that. Fix that, Yolanda. You're gonna miss me because what? You're going back to school soon. Okay. And you're gonna take a break from YouTube? All right, Sunflower. You know, you take your break, you do your thing. That's cool. Lord knows I took a break. And lately I've been taking breaks on a regular basis. People are hating on you. Okay. That happens. That happens. I know what that feels like when people hate on you. I know what that feels like. In fact, everybody here probably knows what that feels like. They have people hate on you. The question is, what do you do about it? Do you let it drag you down, or do you focus on something to help you grow? What do you do? Sunflower, what are you going to do? Are you going to go on Lisa J stocks and get an idea as to what to invest in? Lisa J is committed. Lisa J got those growth stocks bubbling. I I go around building uh, portfolios for family member and friends. That's what I do. Well, I don't actually build it for them. I provide them with what I'm interested in. Yeah, cool. Okay, now I can follow through. Now I can follow through, Yolanda. Hook bruh man up. Oh, Yolanda, I appreciate you too. And one of these days, I will be able to stop at the DMV and I'll figure out some way, somehow, so so that so that you can see that big rooster. I know you've seen it. I know you've seen the big rooster, but I want to be present. I want to see your reaction when you're in the presence of the big rooster. I want to see a reaction, and I want to guide you in the process of getting that dark meat. Yeah. I want to see what your eyes look like when that dark meat is in your mouth. Okay? Yeah. Yeah. I think it's of great importance. It's not the same when people talk about doing something as it is when it's actually happening and in your presence. But it is. This this Easter weekend has been so different from previous ones, for me at least. I've been revisiting scripture and reminding myself of certain things like Friday. Friday was Good Friday, but as a teenager, I always asked myself, what's so good about that Friday? If I were Jesus, I don't know how good that would have been for me, being tortured and executed. I mean, yeah, I understand the explanation provided by the priest and the pastors about what it is, but it's still stuck on me. What's so good about that Friday from Jesus' perspective? I don't want to make this a religious thing, but it's wild to me. Just like the title says, it's wild to me. Guys from the brokerages that are in the description below, if you use one of the links and open up an account and fund the account, the brokerages provide you with a gift of either money. I think just one of them offers money, but they offer you money or shares, even fractional shares, to get you started, to get you rolling, and they're yours to keep, which is an amazing thing. Now, there are other brokerages out there, and maybe someday we can get into. I won't do it. I won't do it on the channel. I won't get into the differences between the brokerages and what you can and cannot do on those brokerages. I would do that privately. Like I've said in the past, I respect I respect the fact that some people have paid large sums of money to acquire some information, like options trading, for example, which I teach. But people have spent tens of thousands of dollars learning that stuff, and people have earned tens of thousands of dollars teaching it. The people close to me, I don't charge. I never did charge options trading, but again, that's a very small and tight knit group. But it's wild to me. It's wild to me. Right now, there's a lot of volatility going on in the market right now. And it just popped in my head. I was watching C-SPAN and I was watching uh, former Department of Justice Pam Bondi being questioned about, I think it was about the Epstein files. And she sidetracked to uh, distract everybody from the actual matter at hand and started commenting on the performance of the stock market and how the Dow Jones reached 50,000. Now, to the common person, it could be presented as a big deal, 50,000. Wow. That was a record high and it was done in record time. Also, the increase to get to 50,000 was done in record time and it was a record increase, which is great. And naturally, when someone from the administration points out the performance of the stock market, they like to relate the working class and middle classes retirement accounts to give you the impression that this is all working out great for you. To some degree it is, but not to the degree that they want you to believe. Not exactly like that. Keep in mind that the ones that are benefiting the most is 10% of the population. Those are the ones that are benefiting the most. And you're not part of that 10%. And you got to keep that in mind. 10% of our population here owns 90% of the stocks. So that means there are 10% of the stocks left over that's being divided amongst people who have retirement accounts, which is not a lot. So putting things in perspective, it's nice to know that, yeah, the stock market has created wealth, but more so for the 10%. Now, that does not mean that you shouldn't bother with it. No, 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 no. On the contrary, remember, this is not financial advice. But participating in the stock market is to your benefit, provided that you're disciplined and consistent and don't approach it like it's a casino. Because you can do that, but the people, the vast majority of the people that have acquired wealth by way of the stock market has done it through consistency and discipline, not by playing it like a casino, not by day trading. And if you're doing options, you have to have some type of way of approaching it. You have to have guidelines, you have to have rules that you impose on yourself, because the stock market itself is not going to impose it for you. You have to impose it on yourself. There are certain strategies, and honestly, having been a former professional, professionals only use maybe one or two stocks that they focus on, and the number of strategies that they use might be two, maybe three strategies for that one stock that they continuously gain money from. And that's because they become familiar with that one stock, with that one corporation. They become familiar with the things that cause that stock and its price to move, and to move in what direction, what kind of things impact it, what to expect for earnings every quarter. Well, I think they changed it now. It's every 6 months now. I don't know how that's going to impact options trading. If what I heard was correct, that it's now the reports are required every 6 months. Some corporations might continue to report every quarter, even though they're not required to. They might feel a certain sense of responsibility, or they're taking the chance that their investors would be more inclined to invest with a corporation that continues to report quarterly. Right now, what I've been seeing institutional investors sell some of their growth stocks to use the money to purchase more value stocks. They call that a rotation. So they're reshaping their portfolios to defend whatever they have. Oh, good. Good, Yolanda. I'm glad you're still here. I'm currently in Pennsylvania. I'm near Dubois, Pennsylvania. I'm along I-80 right now. I had a little issue with my coolant system. I had some leakage, and because of the leak, the reservoir, the fluid in the reservoir went low enough. The leak wasn't that bad, but the reservoir went low enough to trigger off the sensor and cause my truck to shut down every 60 seconds. And I had maybe 20 miles to go. So I kept playing this game with the ignition and the 60 seconds and the sensor, and made it to a truck stop that had a shop and got it repaired. A 4 hour repair wound up costing $3,000. A 4 hour repair, $3,000. And if you were to see what was repaired between the parts and the amount of time dedicated to the repair, that $3,000 would look like a lot. But if you plan on coming into this business as an owner, if you plan on coming into this business establishing your own authority, these are the type of costs you got to be prepared for. Now, if you buy a brand new truck, the likelihood of that happening is very low if you can afford a brand new truck, which could run you north of $200,000. You'll more than likely get a loan, and depending on the interest rate, you could be paying anywhere from $2,500 a month to north of $4,000 a month in payments. That's just the truck payment. Then you have your insurance payment. And insurance will be determined by your age, the amount of experience you have, and your driving history, meaning whether or not you have violations or anything like that. And the violations can come in two forms, not just how many tickets you got on your actual driver's license, but what's called your CSA score. Your CSA score covers violations that have nothing to do with driving. It could be having an overweight trailer, it could be violating your hours of service, it could be getting a violation for driving fatigue. Uh, yeah, but that's not the typical driving violation, like blowing a stop sign or a traffic light or going over the speed limit. That's something different. But this will impact your CSA score, which will impact the cost of your insurance. It also depends on what state your business is in. Now, if you have your own authority, the insurance companies will expect you to park your truck in an area separate from your own residence, because sometimes you can establish your authority using your own residence, but the truck cannot be parked at your residence. It had to be parked somewhere else. And in some states, they won't allow you to use where you live as your business address. You would have to have a separate location for that, and it has to be a commercial area. So you have that to keep in mind. So of course, if you have to establish your business in a commercial area, you got to figure in the cost, your monthly cost for the area that you have your company at, your property tax, your um, corporate tax, your insurance. And another thing that would impact your insurance is what you plan on hauling. If you plan on hauling general merchandise, that would probably be the lowest. But if you plan on hauling hazardous material, of course, you'll be paying more for insurance. Also, the type of trailer that you're going to use, whether it's open deck or closed in like a regular uh, box trailer, or refrigerated, will be a different insurance cost if you plan on hauling your refrigerated goods. So there are some variables to consider. Checking my mic. Doing good. Doing good. Whoa, whoa. Hey, Daniel Barry. Happy Saturday, bud. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday, Mr. Daniel Barry. So what's on everybody else's mind? Because it's wild to me. All this that I'm telling you is wild to me. No, I'm gonna tell you what's wild to me. What's wild to me? I was listening to how, or I was remembering a conversation I had with my oldest son. Actually, I'm surprised that my son doesn't attempt to talk to me about the more popular things that are occurring in these YouTube streets, like the scandals. Oh, you're gonna have Bible study? Oh, nice! Bible study. I remember when I first started reading the Bible from beginning to end. I think I was 17 years old, I think 16 or 17, one of those two. And at the time, I lived in a Jewish synagogue, and I was reading the Bible from beginning to end. And when I got to Deuteronomy, boy, things got real interesting real quick, because Deuteronomy is where you'll find the laws that Moses handed down to the Hebrews. How priests were, how the lineage of the priest started with Moses' brother, Aaron. I've been watching the movie of the Ten Commandments since I was a little kid, and I thought the Ten Commandments was something completely different. And it's just the first 10 laws of 600 and some odd laws that Moses handed over to the Hebrews. And there were things that I remember because I was raised Roman Catholic, and there's a distinction between Catholic and Roman Catholic. There's a distinction between the two, even though people just call the Roman Catholic Church Catholic. But the truth is that there is a distinction between the two. So as I'm reading, I'm realizing that there were some laws that were disregarded or changed. And that's when I started asking questions. I started asking the rabbi questions. When I would go to a Roman Catholic church, I would ask the priest questions. And I could see the discomfort that they had when it was time to answer the questions that I asked. I wasn't trying to be a smartass or anything like that. I was genuinely curious because here I am reading one thing and something else is being followed. So I'm just curious. I'd like to know why the change, what's going on. And throughout my life, I would stumble upon new information. Like recently, I've been getting into the Ethiopian Bible, which has the most amount of books. And of course, I asked myself, well, how come they have so many books, 80 some odd books, and the Roman Catholic only has 60 some odd books? Then you get into how the Roman Catholic Church come into existence, how it was through Emperor Constantine in the year 300 something, how he gathered all these Christian Christian leaders to help establish the Roman Catholic Church, to agree and disagree as to what books were allowed in what's known as the canon. The canon is the the, the complete books that were included in the one book that they call the Bible. The the conflict amongst different Christian groups at the time in the Roman Empire, the fact that Christianity is actually a subsect of Judaism. Christianity was established by Jews. All very interesting. All very interesting. The history, getting into scientific research into DNA of certain personalities, the physical features of certain personalities, and the propaganda that was used by changing these features. I read a letter. I read a letter, and as I'm reading the letter, I'm thinking, wow, these Muslims are so radical, talking about unaliving people just because they're not a part of the religion. At the end of the letter, I realized, because they had the author on there, that letter was a Roman Catholic priest. And that letter was used to motivate Christians so that they can set off the crusades. That was pretty wild. That was quite the revelation. I'm reading the letter and I'm saying, wow, Islam is this particular Islamist could have been an imam or whatever. Wow, this guy's really radicalized, wanting to take bodies and whatnot. And it wasn't Islam. It was a Roman Catholic Pope. I think he was out of Spain or France. I don't remember. But it was the things he was saying was absolutely crazy. But hey, that's pretty wild. But that's wild to me. I'm gonna I'm gonna call it a night. Thanks everybody who came in, showed some support, showed some love. And for those who missed it and didn't get a chance to show love and support, I know you guys love and support me. So stay fresh and keep it profitable, and I'll figure out how to not stumble upon my words like that. Stay fresh, y'all. Keep it profitable. And I'll be headed over to Yolanda. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. And I'm going to head over to the Bible study, see what Yolanda got going on over there. Peace.